Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I am Peter, and that is Tim.
Hello.
We, of course, are working our way through Tales from the Crypt. Every single episode. I've not seen it before. Timothy's seen the odd episode here or there, some of it in his childhood, but we're having fun working our way through it. And this is the final episode of Season 1. It's episode 6 of that season. It's called Collection Completed, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to go full spoilers, and the plot of this one is a man named Jonas who's turned 65, is put into retirement. He's not wanting to retire, but he's wherever he works for, that they're saying it's
Mandatory.
mandatory. Yeah, that's the word. Good job, Tim. You're paying attention. Anyway, so he has to come home and he has to spend obviously every day with his wife, but his wife has
Who he seems like he hates.
he seems like he hates, yes. And she has this like fascination with animals. She has a lot of pets. She has cats, dogs, birds, fish, rabbits, everything. And this frustrates him more, and even she seems to be having a weird time getting used to him being home all day. And the episode is really just about him sort of growing more agitated with all the animals until he takes things to an extreme measure and starts killing them and performing taxidermy with them. So that's the plot of the episode. Tim, did you enjoy this one?
I did enjoy it. Definitely one of the weaker ones of the season, I would say. But still had a good time with it. Nothing really creepy or too terribly shocking happens. This is definitely one of the more comedic ones, but I did think it was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, it was funny. For the most part, it kept me chuckling throughout, in a kind of weird sort of surreal way, but just because of the way Jonas like talks to his wife, the way he reacts or overreacts to like the silliest little things, is good fun. I think both of us being like cat owners probably were a bit more tense throughout this episode compared to maybe some other people. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely better than episode 5. It was better than last week's.
Oh yeah.
Last week's was easily the weakest of the season.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Whereas this, it probably wasn't as good as the first 4, but it was like fun spirited. So it was hard because you could keep seeing where things were going. You called out that she was feeding them cat food by accident.
Oh yeah.
I called out that she was actually talking to an animal when she was like, it sounded like she was talking to him and about connecting to him, and it turns and it's a cat. So it was very predictable in that sense, but at the same time, I don't think that hurt it too much. I think it added to the simple sort of
kind of
goofy
aesthetic
nature of it.
I'd agree with that. I liked all the actors in it, like the main guy, who I feel like I've seen him in a lot of different things. He seemed very recognizable.
He's one of these guys who shows up a lot.
I feel like he must have been like in a lot of sitcoms. For some reason, I like the first thing I thought of was like, oh, I'm pretty sure he was in Seinfeld. I'm not sure like which episode though. I can't.
Probably.
But yeah, he's one of those guys that you see a lot. But he's a really good actor, and his character is like very over the top. Like everything is like super agitating to him, and like just like a little.
And also like so. The first morning he wakes up, right, as a retired man, and he goes to use the bathroom, and his wife's in there, and somehow over there, well, he's been working for 47 years, but let's say 40 years of marriage, right? Let's just assume it was around 40 years.
Yeah.
In that time, they've never had to like be in the bathroom at the same time or accidentally be using it when the other person needs it for something. Because he needs to go for number 2. He needs to sit down, as he puts it. And he is terrified to tell her that he needs to do this. And he overreacts. He's like, oh, you're going to make me say it? Oh, fine, I need to sit down. Are you happy? Like,
I thought he was going to be really vulgar about it, because he's like, fine, I'll say it. So I thought he was going to be, like start swearing, like, I gotta like take a... But no, he's like, fine, I'll say it. I gotta sit down. It's like... Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And then it's a pretty big house. I'm like, you're telling me they don't have like a second bathroom downstairs? Like, it's pretty common, I feel like, for a two-floor house to have at least one on, the first floor, one on the top floor.
I'd say it's
Um,
50-50. I think I've been in just as many houses that are two floors that only have one than that I have been two. That said, though, I've also been in houses that have one floor and still have two. So,
yeah, honestly, I can't really think of it. Any places that hasn't had one, at least on, like, usually it's like a smaller one on like the first floor or something that doesn't have a shower or something. But um, and maybe that's more of an American thing or something too. I don't know.
no. It's definitely something that you get everywhere. It's just, I
Yeah.
feel like it's 50-50.
In my experience, it hasn't been, but but still, it is weird that yeah, even if that's the case, that like yeah, he's so like ashamed and embarrassed of it, and just in general, they have like a weird reaction towards each other like a lot of the time, but. I mean, it all works though for the type of story that they're telling and the inevitable conclusion
Yeah,
that
because
it's coming to.
obviously there's that moment where she's telling him that he gets to be home every day now and she's going to
Yeah,
spend time with him, and she almost looks terrified of that thought as well,
yeah,
which is just good fun. Yeah, so the whole thing builds up to him finally discovering what hobby he wants to do, because there's the weird over the top happy neighbor who keeps trying to get him into building model planes that he's just not taking it, and he eventually decides to get into taxidermy, and he sort of reveals to his wife at the end of the episode that he's been killing all of her pets. So how he managed to do all of the pets except one cat without her noticing them all going missing is beyond me. Because she only notices one dog going missing, and she goes in the room, and the room is full of pets. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure
yeah,
some of them are ones that he got elsewhere to practice on or whatever,
yeah.
but all of her other pets, because she has at least like 6 or 7, maybe 8 pets
Hmm.
that we can confirm at the start when she has them all in the party hats, and
Yeah,
all of them but this cat are all dead, and she didn't notice.
yeah. And the way that the story plays out, it feels like it's pretty quickly. Like, if I had to guess, just from what we've seen, it seems like he did that in the span of like a day or two.
Yeah, it's very, it plays very goofball, so you kind of just
Yeah,
let that go because it kind of fits with the tone of the whole episode.
yeah.
It just weirdly fits. So
I was also impressed with like how like advanced he got with the taxidermy because he was able to get like the dog's eyes to light up, which
well, yeah,
I,
this is the thing. I predicted he was going to like get into taxidermy. Like that seemed pretty obvious that that's what he was going to do. But he walks out with this remote control as if it's like a toy car,
yeah,
and he starts using it to light up the dog's eyes. And I'm like, I have never seen a taxidermist do this. What is
yeah.
this? Like, and why did they do this? And
Well, like
and the other thing is he's got this remote control. It's like a toy car with the left and right sticks to move it around. And I'm like, all it's doing is lighting its eyes up. Surely a simple button would have sufficed.
yeah,
I'm
but
just throwing that out there.
but he loves it. He's like he's getting like so much joy out of it.
Yeah, he's getting far too much enjoyment out of the eyes lighting up. He's like, it's almost like a weird, version of that Jurassic Park. What, he was too
Oh yeah,
preoccupied if he shouldn't,
yeah.
wonder if he should. It's almost like that, but in a much more weirder, smaller level. Like he's really proud that he could do this, but it has no purpose or reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if if he didn't end up meeting his fate, if he would have just graduated to killing people at some point, because the amount of pleasure he gets out of killing animals was insane.
Well, yeah, a big thing of this is obviously that he can't deal with not being in work. He can't deal
Yeah.
with and I'm watching this going, I'm a lazy asshole. Like I would relish in this,
Oh yeah.
relish in it. But to each their own, as the neighbor says.
Well, like I mean, I'm a pretty busy guy nowadays, but I've definitely had my spurts where I haven't had anything to do, and I feel like you do get antsy after like like a couple of days, but
You
then
do,
yeah, like
yeah.
but that's you get like hobbies though. you know, like,
You do.
and
You fill your time up with whatever it is you like to do, and
yeah,
sometimes you do want to just sit around and do nothing because that's like the most appealing thing that there
yeah,
is sometimes. But you know, so obviously at the end of the episode, she takes his big hammer because he complains that they never give him a watch. Because traditionally, if you're out with a company for a long time, when you leave, you get a watch. That's the traditional thing to get. But they give him this big, like oversized hammer that's like silver, and
yeah.
she uses that to bash his brains in. And again, you can call the twist ending coming, but she taxidermies him, and he's sitting there in his chair watching TV, dead, but with like a stitched up face.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the more predictable ones. I mean, between like the title, the hammer, the taxidermy, it's pretty easy to see it coming. I do feel like I've seen this one before, because yeah, as soon as I kind of saw the title and saw that it involved animals, I remembered uh, one that did end with someone being taxidermied. I just couldn't remember if it was the wife or the husband that ended up doing it. But yeah, it's still like kind of a satisfying ending, especially when you get that last final shot that's pretty goofy.
Yeah, yeah. Crypt Keeper was on form with the puns at the end of this episode,
Yep.
talking about him being stuffed and
Mm.
so on. No, it was a fun episode. It was definitely not one of the creepier ones, and it's definitely not one of the more memorable ones from the season. But
Hmm.
I had fun. But yeah, that wraps up the 6 episode season one. So okay, 6 episodes isn't exactly a huge feat. We've done this 6 weeks in a row. Yay
Yeah.
us! But on season two next week, we're not going to take a break. We're going to go straight onto it. All 90+ episodes in 90+ weeks. Poor Timmy's going to be, I don't know, in pain by the end of it. But yeah, let us know what you thought of this episode if you've seen it in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. And of course, guys, remember that me and Tim do horror movie reviews over on our sister channel, Mailed Fuzz Movies. So go and check those out. We're doing a bunch of extra episodes for October because it's the month of Halloween and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Keep watching Scary TV. We will see you next